buzzies over there, look. I like they think it's like Van Gogh, like they live amongst the bums, you know what I mean? That's what we're doing over there. Nice to meet you, buddy. But hey, it's good to get this done.
Definitely, yeah.
It'll be interesting, like I'm sort of apprehensive about coming across the wrong way, but sure, as long as I be myself, keep it relaxed, we should be alright.
Definitely, yeah.
But that's what I'm saying, the buzzies are there all the time, hey. There's always something happening in this place.
Yep.
Always a crime element. I'm hoping to get out of it. The dream is to get back in the bog someday, maybe.
Yep.
But it's a bad environment, you know.
Yep.
I'm doing it one more time. I'm doing it for real now. For real now, 100%. We've had a few ticks here, folks, but we're hopefully going to get it right now this time. My name's Paul Ruairi Divine, otherwise known as Squarebear Dairy. I'm a local artist in Derry. My work generally works in blending nationalist issues with mainstream iconography and talking about that juxtaposition and grey area in the middle that alienates them both from each other. I started drawing fairly earlier on. My granny then loved this and started encouraging it. Every day would buy me sketchbooks, drawings, they draw and get it out of my system. It was just drawing all the way, nothing could stop me. I also seen it as a great form of escapism because I believe that my peers and elders were all suffering from PTSD and you didn't understand it at the time because you were only a child, but they were all fried by the troubles, and I think that residually went down into my wee psyche and started causing mental health problems from an early age. Fairly early on I started pulling my hair out at around the ages of 3. I can remember as a kid going, you know, thinking about that pain in my head stops me from thinking about the pain all around me. Do you know that sort of way? So I think from earlier on it was quite clear wee Paul Ruairi was a wee bit complicated. But drawing became a form of escapism for me, and then my parents broke up, and that caused this other sort of conflict and a feeling of alienation in me. I guess what I'm trying to make you understand is why I became an artist, why I approach the things I do, and why themes of mental illness are in my work, why themes of the troubles are in my work, and why themes of drug culture are in my work. So I guess you could say art became a sanctuary for me that I've had throughout my life, always helped me, always was something that I fell back on, and also realised that it was a great way to express yourself while not necessarily having to express yourself directly. And here's some doodles as well. I'll fly through these rather quickly. Some sketches and stuff, you know, that there one there, it's like DMT psychedelia inspired. We doodle of an alien, you know. Got all these guys here. Comic sketches. These are all just doodles lying around from donkeys ago, you know, that I held on to. We Kurt Cobain. Eminem 2002, so that's over 20 years out, that drawing there. The pervert in my head. Bill Hicks. There's kind of amateurish these drawings, but I just held on to them for sentimental value. because they're pretty old. And there's Predator, kind of spooky wee drawing of a kid. Michael Jackson, look, freaky deaky. That's an old portrait I done of Kurt Cobain. I had a bit of a suicidal period in my life, and I became obsessed with drawing Kurt Cobain. It was like a catharsis for my own suicidal thoughts. The way it was if I concentrated so much on drawing this cunt, I would start thinking about my own suicidal ideation. And that's a lovely wee picture there I got of Martin McGuinness's funeral. As you can see, it was timed perfectly, coming beneath the trees. There was a Spanish photographer and trying to get the shot before me, but I nudged them out of the way and managed to get that shot on the day. Had to break past security. Up here was all closed off, but I snuck on by, being a bogman and knowing my way about. So to me that there was that's a snap I could have made the Pippers, but I never shouted. This is two old friends I used to run around with, and it's kind of like the split in the middle is the separation in the relationship, how drugs that he's digesting have created this kind of separate loneliness between the two of them, you know. And that actually isn't an original photograph, it's actually 3 photographs rolled on they wanted to give that dramatic effect. And that's a local alcoholic, Sauce Bradley. I partied with him for quite some period in my life as well, bit of a local legend in his own right. He's got over the alcoholism now and he no longer does that shit anymore, which is a bit of a success story. And these are wee graffiti bits that were done around the Bogside based on Jean-Michel Basquiat. He's a famous 1980s artist, and he done these like sort of, you know, like wee statements and graffiti sprays around local art scenes in New York City with a guy called Al Diaz. And that work was pretty good. And that's one done based on Andy Warhol soup cans, only replaced with Stagger, cans of Stagger. And then that one there, you know, people enjoy that. Tiananmen Square, only 3 cop jeeps. And then this one's an old Edward Hopper painting, and the WKD symbolise youth gone wrong. And of course these people were all young at one time as well, weren't they? And now they're alcoholics. You know, and as you can see, a lot of my work represents, you know, the Bogside and the disaffected youth and the disaffected street drinkers and stuff like that. Right, so what we're doing is we're showing you some work. It's hidden about the house. Some of this is past work and future work. This is a piece we're working currently on here for the exhibition in the Nerve Centre. That was originally a print, but I got an apprentice artist to go over the whole thing with oil paints. So what he's actually done is replicate the original print and give it some vitality, and that's SDLP politician Vigo the Carpathian. And this is a piece we done here for the Bloody Sunday exhibition not that long ago, last year. It's a bit of a dark piece and didn't sell, but for me it's culturally valuable. I put the blood on his fist as if to say how the events of Bloody Sunday spited the victim's own personal identity, and how they became sort of fragments of a tragedy more than the actual people they were and people they're known as. I mean, they're sort of known as victims more than full human beings. And then this is one here we did. I'm going to do some more work on this here. I'm going to do some more work on that. I'm going to add some riders here. Actually, one of the riders that was present that died on the day was actually on the original photograph, but I removed the riders as if to give it that sense of impending doom, as if the Brits are waiting, you know, they perform their attack, and that was called Gates of Hell. And then this is one of an army boy that was shot dead in the Bogside. His name is Stephen McConaughey, and what happened to him was he was shot with a plastic bullet. But this is based off a mural that used to be in the Bogside. It was rather naively done. It wasn't as detailedly drawn, but it was those same rudimentary colours like green and brown, which was just found in old buckets of paint that they used to make that mural. But for me, it evoked a certain amount of memory, and I'll always hark back to that mural in my mind. And even as a child, I thought they should have done that better. So I sort of reimagined history by doing that again, you know. And then this is a long piece of the Rossville Flats. I was going to do that as a triptych, have it cut up into 3 pieces and spread them apart, but I thought as one piece it works quite well. It's just a basic aesthetic pleasantries of how the Rossville Flats look so good amongst all the drudgery of the Bogside. And then this one here is called Punishment. And it's based around how the juxtaposition of Bloody Sunday and then all the young fellas getting punishment bitten by their own people in the modern era. And it's just almost, it's just what they say, stamp out violence. You know, violence itself is what's wrong here, not so much the political context or where that comes from. Had a great adventurous load of years growing up in the Bogside. As a kid, it was fantastic time. You know, we would go around collecting old plastic bullets and stuff that were discarded from the night before by, you know, the Brits and the stones being thrown down in Agro Corner and places like that. Hey, the thing about down here was there used to be a rave community all the time. This is where we would have hung about as Waynes. We would have had a bit of crack here, smoking hash again. And just there was a great like social fucking aspect down around here. But down there where the Bloody Sunday Museum is now, it's kind of sad to see how it turned out, because Doc's shop used to be down there in the 80s up into the 90s, and now it's moved over into a corner. But the thing about it is although it's here, they do good and like remind us of our history. It's also been sort of like a gentrification of the Bogside, because what it's led to happening is the community itself has kind of died a wee bit, whereas we all would have hung about there and had a bit of crack. Now it's kind of closed off with this monolithic kind of steel structure. But then shortly after that, I began hearing auditory hallucinations of two British soldiers talk back and forth about me in a very negative fashion, call me a wee bastard, say they're going to take me away in a black bag, all this sort of stuff. And that all became like kind of like, what the fuck is going on here? Why have I got voices in my head? I went and talked to my mother about it, and she kind of galvanised it over. And a great way she helped me was that she would point these things out as just part of my imagination. And I think by doing that, I didn't give them wit, and they didn't take on as dangerous of tone as they would have if I had probably given loads of attention. I think back in those days, people were very scared about mental health problems, and I think when my mother-in-law was seeing me go through that, they didn't really want to dwell on it too much in case maybe authorities took me away, you know. So that's kind of why schizophrenia remained dormant in my life. But I had demonic possession too when I was about 16, where I felt a demon enter my body, and it was going to come in and kill my whole family. And I asked Jesus for help and salvation out of pure desperation, not even conscious of Jesus himself as a saviour. I just said, Jesus Christ, help me. And when a minute I asked for Jesus to help, boom, that fucking demon left me. I can't explain that. They call it schizophrenia. They say this is all construct of my mind. It somehow developed from my psyche, but it was fucking as real as fucking anything is fucking real. Schizophrenia was only discovered when I was like 19 after having a severe major breakdown. What led to me having a severe major breakdown was an incident I got into when I was about 14. I'll not go too much into it, but I would perceive it, and from my position as an injustice, where the paramilitaries were got involved, and they basically told me to keep your mouth shut or you'll get done. And that caused a conflict, and very earlier on from experiencing that there, I realised that not all paramilitaries are good guys. And earlier on, being labelled as a wee hood and wee bastard, I realised that the hoods themselves are a demonised fragment of society, treated badly because of addictions, abuse, things they've been through, neglect, whatever they've been through, and they've got angry and become wee cunts, as you would call them. I think what it really is they're kids that lost the way, and I think the idea of curing it with blowing their fucking legs off is not the answer. So I found a sort of relation to what people would call hoods after being bullied at school rather badly and not being able to speak up for myself. I started hanging around with what guys would refer to as hoods, and I found a loyalty amongst fees that I was told never existed. Me and my friends used to come on here when I lived on here in Colmkill Court. At night we would smoke hash on there and play Street Fighter 2 right into the early hours of the morning. Just on that window there. We would have been getting high constantly, much to the annoyance of the neighbours across the street. They would have been saying, what the fuck's that boy Square doing over there smoking hash for Emery hoodlums again. So on there would have been where the crack was 90 as well for about a 4 or 5 year period. Not only does this place an epicenter for rioting and all that sort of crack, it was also where we would all come down here and play football and have great crack kicking up against that door. A girl called Mags used to own a car on there, and she was always getting on to us and saying, well, stop kicking that fucking ball against my cars on there, it's an expensive car. She would crack up. That top flat there in the corner, that's where I had the demonic possession. That's where I had the fucking whole schizophrenic fucking situation. And even now going into that there house to this day, they know, like fucking years later, still get a bit spooked out by that environment, and them boys over there looking at me going, who's this boy getting fucking filmed, but fuck it, let's go. Actually, the morning after it happened, we went down there to my friend, and we actually sat on that there wee fucking pad talking about what had happened, and he was looking at me saying, are you fucking serious? A fucking demon took over your fucking body? And I was on fucking telling you, that's what fucking happened. So, hallucination, spiritual awareness, who the fuck knows, you know what I mean? Schizophrenia and mental illness and drug culture plays a big part in my work, as does paramilitaries and power constructs, unjustified power in the wrong places. I also like to get a big knock at the British power that done this. Basically, power imbalances in general is what my work is about. As my direction was always being an artist since childhood, since play school, since the likes of my Uncle Eddie talking about Van Gogh. Through my own experiences, I had found my voice as an artist. When I went to the Void in around 2008, the Void is a local art gallery in Derry. When I went there, I didn't really know my voice, but through exploring my life and themes, I found a really strong voice now as an artist. After I left the Void art gallery then, I was kind of dissatisfied by how they viewed art. They were kind of saying, oh, you know, what you mean, you madman, and all sort of dismissing some of the stuff I wanted to do. So I thought what I would do then, as an answer to the galleries, is release Streets of Glenfada. That was a totally lo-fi video experiment that I made. They sort of go, fuck you to the galleries, and were trying to tell me what art was. And then that brought this whole audience to me, interested in what my art was about and where I was coming from with. And then soon after I said, well, I'm going to keep this audience going. I started making videos routinely. When no one's in a hurry, you'll be dead like this. When you don't get betrayed by that old Judas kiss. Oh, my mama told me. That's the shot, that's the money shot there, look. That's the gag. Prescriptions. I can just imagine them down in Strand Station, the PSNI, getting a juke of this here when it was flying around Derry at the time. It's called Policeman Pat. Policeman Pat, Policeman Pat, Policeman Pat, and the dirty wee rats. Let's fuck the system material, know what I mean? Next legal high is just a sesh. Melodrome. What is just a sesh? Every mad bastard off their heads. Your life is just a sesh. Hey, that was good. That took a few days to shoot that. Nobody wanted to help me. Everybody was disheartened. They couldn't see the vision. There's actually a woman picking at the buns there. Did you see that? And we were doing people wiped out on camera before, Lummy and all the rest of them. I was raw. Nobody really seen people wiped out on camera before. At the time it was like, oh, what's this here? What's he doing there now? Oh, all the boomers would have been going, what's he doing there? Her fried off her head. I'm trying to lure out my scooter. Holy fuck. And Scorsese was saying recently that he had seen Derry Girls. I wonder, has he seen Derry Wolf of Wall Street? Hey, he's had to have seen that before that shit. Jerry, a wee alcoholic over the street, helped me shoot this cameraman. This shot here you're about to see going down into the feet. It took ages to get that shot right because we didn't have a gimbal. We had to do it by our wee steady hand, and he's an alco, so he's all nervous doing this, you know what I mean? That took forever just to get that shot. That looks so stupid. Looks so simple, but it took forever.
Hey, show me the monkey. Show me the monkey. Did you feel good? Did they say that? Say it with me one more time, Dickie.
That annoyed a lot of people too at the same time. Dangerous art. So a lot of these here videos were made to make the young fellas and that feel less disenfranchised and alone in what they were doing when some of them were getting shot. A few of my friends actually, because of that period and the drugs that they did get on, they ended up kneecapped by the paramilitaries and led to further addictions like prescription drugs like Valium and stuff, which then eventually led to them getting into fentanyl and dying. So that's how far an unjust kneecapping can go. So there's like serious elements are talked about in these videos, but they've got a comedy backdrop, but that's not to say it isn't serious art in a sense.
Monkey madness is everywhere.
It is all around us.
Even now in this very room.
You can smell it when you look out your window.
Or when you smell your armpits. You can smell it when you go out for a drink.
So you could.
When you go to church.
So you could.
When you pay a taxi man.
So you could. At that time you could smell methadone everywhere. You could actually tell where a methadone sesh pit was by the fucking scent it. It's like a mix between cat piss and candy or something.
Raw. Do you want to join them? Do you want to join the raw? I get you on them. Do you want to join them? I get you on the raw. Can they count we lads? Raw rations. Going to Portugal and shit. Do you want to join them?
I was worried about it getting cold, but it hasn't been cold.
Do you want to join them? Do you want to join the raw?
That's the cat going, who the fuck's this cunt here?
Do you want to join them? Do you want to join them?
The back and forths are good too, it was timed perfectly.
I don't think so. Fucking pussy.
That was the YouTube videos, and the last 10 years it's been a real pleasure making them. And it's been a real joy seeing how people get a bit of crack from them. When you're going out in the street and all, people come up to you and say they love your videos. It means a lot to me.
Square, when did you get into the photography?
I got into it about 2010. I've always been interested in photography. I've always been capturing pictures with my mind when I'm walking down the street and seeing things. I've always been kind of cropping things. But I picked up my first camera, a wee Vivitar 800, in about 2010 after studying down the Void Art Gallery. And then I moved on to the proper professional equipment a few years later. But I like catching things as is and cropping. And no, like, your eye can see things aesthetically pleasing even in a jump up mess of an urban environment, you know what I mean? I've heard somebody say that photography is like fucking an artist without a paintbrush, basically, no? There's a movement called Art Brut, coined by a guy called Dubuffet, and he believed that art created by pure artistic impulse with those not concerned by the galleries at all is the art that is worth everything in the world. And that's where I felt like the galleries tried to smother my true voice because it wasn't marketable. But when I went out and gave my own voice as a madman, it galvanised loads and loads of people, so they didn't have a clue what they were talking about. So that is the movement that I follow. Is called Art Brut or outsider art. I'm not concerned with the professionalism galleries. I'm preserved with expressing myself intently as it is. Know what I mean? So that's basically Squarebear Dairy and how he got from where he is to making all this art. I would like my legacy to at least come across in some stance that it was a stamp of quality and it wasn't concerned with the pretense that came along with art galleries and stuff like that. I would like people to think that my work was authentic and made for the people and not concerned with professionalism or the bullshit word. And I would like to think also that the legacy of my artwork would give a voice to those disenfranchised by politics, those caught up in sex culture, that want to find meaning maybe politically, or even find meaning culturally by those injections of pop culture and stuff that goes into the work. I would just like to have people also just maybe look at me and think he gave a voice to, you know, people that didn't really have a voice. And I think people would like to look at me and go, he wasn't an artsel, but he was an artist. He was a good artist. He wasn't a dickhead. He was a good artist. That's what I always had planned from I was a wee boy, from my granny encouraging me in play school. My vision was always to be a good artist. And I hope I've accomplished that locally, while also having a few shits and giggles along the way.